Django, the 1966 spaghetti western classic about a gunslinging ex-Union soldier who drags an anachronistic machine gun inside of a coffin, was a huge international success. Catapulting its lead, the blue-eyed Italian Franco Nero, into stardom, and spawning dozens of unofficial sequels that bore its name. Whether or not the cash grab contained any character even named Django is another matter entirely. Which brings me to the next entry on this list. Django clone/sequel, number 1. Django the Runner. After the success of Django, a lot of Franco Nero's movies were retitled in Germany to capitalize on the film's popularity. Such is the case here with what was originally titled Tempo di Massacro, translation, Time of Massacre, or Massacre Time. This one showcases Nero decidedly not playing Django, firing repeatedly at point-blank range, shooting upside down, somersaulting, and all sorts of other stuff that predates the tropes of John Woo's heroic bloodshed actioners of the 80s and 90s. Number 2. Django de Raja, or Texas Adio, or Texas Adios. Another example of an opportunistically jiggered title. Here, Nero plays a Texan sheriff who travels south of the border with his kid brother to arrest the man who killed their father. In this one, be on the lookout for scenes that may or may not have influenced a future and much more famous film.
How did you know my mother?
You are my son.
You are my son.
Number 3. Django Spara per Primo, the first of many Django cash grabs that doesn't star Franco Nero. Number 4. A Few Dollars for Django. Pretty average stuff, but check out this fake-ass cactus. Number 5. Django die Geierstingsschlange. In this one, not Django has a climactic meat hook fight in a barn. Number 6. Django Cacciatore de Taglie. In this one, not Django's shooting skills don't impress his girlfriend. Number 7. Django non perdona. Originally known as Mestizo, this historical drama takes place in Canada during the Northwest Rebellion of 1885, or something like that. I don't know, you can Wikipedia it if you want. With its fort sieges and large-scale battles, it might be the most expensive not Django movie until the mid-aughts. Number 8. Django Schwarzer Gott des Todes. By the way, I'm done with these linguistic gymnastics, so only sprechen the English titles from here on out. So Star Black, Saturday matinee serials, Italian style. Only unlike the chapter plays of the past, not Django's masked avenger wears pantyhose for his disguise and kills more people in 90 minutes than the Lone Ranger did his entire career. Number 9. Man, Pride, and Vengeance is actually a 6-gun retelling of the opera Carmen. Franco Nero stars, so it automatically got a Django title in another language. Number 10. A welcome reverse of formula. No Django in the title, but there is one in the movie. The film also shares the same leading lady as the 1966 original. Number 11. Shamango. Little wonder a programmer called Shamango also moonlights as a Django movie. Number 12. Django the Condemned. This melodramatic and dull Spanish western, originally released in 1965 under some other title, was subsequently retitled and re-released in June of 1967 to cash in on the Django craze. Number 13. Hallelujah for Django, heist picture involving a phony monk, a drunk, and a statue of a saint. Number 14. Born to Kill. In this fake Django movie, an actor named Gordon Mitchell played the lead, which rarely happened, because he looked like this. Number 15. This Italian western's original title is Django, but the Germans want you to believe it's a Django movie, presumably because Django is an embarrassing name. Number 16. Son of Django. In this one, Django is murdered before the opening credits. His son, the protagonist, seeks revenge, a rare instance of truth in advertisement. Number 17. Django kills silently. Spoiler alert, he doesn't. Number 18. Don't wait, Django. Shoot. A movie so cheap, they couldn't afford a roof for this house. Number 19. Django, the Last Killer. In this one, not Django takes a young Mexican under his wing to teach him the art of self-defense. Number 20. The Dirty Outlaws. This one's copious use of mud rivals the original Django's obsession with the dirt sludge. Number 21. This one's original title is God Forgives, I Don't, which is hands down one of the best movie titles ever. Too bad the Germans spoiled it by slapping Django in there. Number 22. Rattler Kid. And speaking of badass monikers, the German title for this one translates to Django, insatiable, like Satan. That's pretty metal. Number 23. Two Faces of the Dollar. In this one, Django is a master of disguise. Number 24. Death on the Run. Not a Western, but a Euro spy thriller. Difficult to see the Django connection here with the film's Danish title, but look deeper and you'll notice that the director is Sergio Corbucci, the same man who helmed the original Django. Number 25. Little Rita of the West, a musical that combined two popular institutions of 1960s Italy, the spaghetti western and rock singer Rita Pavone. They managed to squeeze a Django reference in there too, just to justify the Argentinian title. Number 26. 100,000 per Killing. This not Django movie sports this really cool kill. Number 27. Face to Face. This politically charged frontier thriller sees a milquetoast history professor visiting the West and becoming corrupted by its lawlessness. Had no idea this minor spaghetti western classic was billed as a Django movie in Japan until doing research for this video, but here we are. Number 28. Django Kill. If You Live, Shoot. With its crucifixions, vampire bats, gore, and gay cowboys, this one actually has a cult following that rivals the original Django. Number 29. If You Want to Live, Then Shoot. In this one, no one's name is Django, but the moniker does show up anyway in a postmodern scene involving a livery stable packed with horses that used to belong to dead frontier Frankies. Their former owners' names tacked on little signs. Other spaghetti western anti-heroes from other franchises, such as Ringo and Arizona Colt, appear. All very cute and self-reflexive. Number 30. Dead for $1. The German title of this bland affair asks, Django, where is your coffin? Highlighting how not Django this not Django movie actually is. Number 31. Viva Django. This one actually started out as an official sequel, but the original star, Franco Nero, flew off to Hollywood to be in the production of Camelot. The producers hired a lookalike named Terence Hill and made the movie anyway. Doesn't really fit as either a sequel or a prequel, but they brought back the coffin and machine gun. Oh, and for the youth crowd, Gnarls Barkley sampled a track from the film's score for his 2006 hit Crazy. Remember when that was inescapable no matter where you went? I would present a side-by-side comparison for you, but copyrights are a bitch. Number 32. Vengeance. This one has a really cool kill. Number 33. Requiem for a Gringo. In this one, not Django wears a jaguar skin poncho and shoots up a bunch of people during an eclipse. Number 34. Death Sentence. The one with the villainous albino. Number 35. Execution. The one with the medieval flail. Number 36. Man Who Cried Revenge. The one where the cheap sets are destroyed by explosive bottles. Number 37. I Want Him Dead. The one whose trailer would have you believe the whole movie is tinted. It's not. Number 38. To Hell and Back. In this one, the villain snipes at watermelons strapped to Mexicans' heads. I don't know. Number 39. Any Gun Can Play. The closest this one comes to a Django movie is the opening, where the star of the movie, who doesn't play Django by the way, shoots a guy dressed up to look like Franco Nero's Django, alongside two dudes made up to look like Lee Van Cleef and Clint Eastwood. Number 40. Nude Django. As the title implies, they made a porno bearing the Django name. Number 41. Blackjack. The English translation of the German title is On Your Knees, Django. Now, despite what that conjures up, I swear, this is not a porno. Although there is some nudity. Number 42. May God Forgive You. I Won't. This one is actually a Django sequel, remember that? But judging by its Gatling gun finale, I can see why German distributors changed the title at the last minute. Number 43. The Moment to Kill. In this one, after an extended shootout in a slaughterhouse, the protagonist kills the villain with a sharp spur. I assume it's a reference to the climax to the American classic, The Naked Spur. Number 44. Shoot, Gringo, Shoot. Directed by Sergio Corbucci's brother Bruno, this one has not Django wielding a whip. The guy playing him is Brian Kelly, star of the Flipper TV show, and get this, executive producer of friggin' Blade Runner. Who would have thought? Number 45. Wrath of God. Hope you like horse riding because this one has a whole lot of it. Number 46. Vengeance is My Forgiveness. An alternate English title for this one is Shotgun, which is weird because there isn't a shotgun in it. Then again, there isn't a Django in it either. Number 47. One After Another. In this one, not Django is basically Michael Myers. Number 48. Gatling Gun. In this one, not Django digs out a bullet lodged in his hand with a knife. It's pretty gross. Number 49. A Long Ride from Hell. In this one, not Django kills a man by punching him in the chest repeatedly. Number 50. Johnny Hamlet. The one that is an adaptation of Bill Shakespeare's Hamlet, complete with spooky ghost dad. Number 51. Django the Bastard. In this one, Django is a ghost, and reportedly influenced the later Clint Eastwood vehicle, High Plains Drifter. Number 52. Venus and Furs. No Django in the title, no Django in the movie. It's not even a Western, it's actually an adaptation of 19th century erotica. But I would be remiss if I didn't mention this tagline on the German poster. English translation, The Django of the Sex Wave. Number 53. Hanging for Django. This one contains a bounty hunter with a pepperbox rifle. Number 54. Django, God forgive his pistol. But what about his crutch? Number 55. The Taste of Vengeance. Peculiar character study in which the anti-hero's mind is warped so irrevocably by the murder of his family, he soon becomes the villain of his own story. Number 56. Released to cinemas in 1970 as 3 Bullets for a Long Gun, this South African shot western was distributed over a decade later as Django in Mexico on Danish videocassette. Number 57. Sartana is here. Trade your pistol for a coffin. This is actually an entry in another series of films that follow the exploits of an ethereal James Bondian character named Sartana. Confoundedly, the German distributor marketed it as a Django movie. Why didn't they give the others in this series the same treatment is anybody's guess. Number 58. Django against Sartana. Much like the Universal monsters of old, so too did the spaghetti western begin cranking out mashups, pitting popular characters together in the same movie towards the end of its cycle. Here we have the first of such examples, Django against Sartana. Not played by the original actors, and not good, to say the least. Number 59. Django and Sartana are coming. It's the end. Unfortunately, it's not. Number 60. One Damn Day at Dawn, Django meets Sartana. The last of the ill-fated mashups, thankfully. Number 61. The Unholy Four. In this one, not Django escapes from a lunatic asylum. Missed opportunity here, as the title could have easily been, wait for it, Django Unhinged. I'm so sorry. Number 62. Ballad of Django. In this one, an elderly Django regales a young upstart with his tales of action and daring do, which is a thinly veiled excuse for the filmmaker to repurpose his older movies as the flashbacks. Number 63. Kill Django, kill first. The one with the samurai. Number 64. Django is coming, pay or die. The one in which its trailer implies Django as a computer program. Number 65. A Man Called Django. Now where have I seen that before? Oh. Number 66.
Django's Cut Price Corpses is a film that will keep you breathless from beginning to end.
Very unlikely. Number 67. Western Story. This one has a camouflage scene that will fool absolutely no one. Number 68. Gunman of 100 Crosses. In this one, the female villain whips the leading lady's clothes off. Number 69. Mallory Must Die. Damn! That dress is really tight. Number 70. Vendetta at Dawn. This one has an atypical ending where the vengeance seeker doesn't kill the bad guy who murdered his family, but turns him into the authorities instead. Number 71. Lobo the Bastard. In this comedy western, not Django goes skinny dipping, and has one of the cleverest endings to a movie I have ever seen. Number 72. Django, Adios. The poster for this one is very eye-catching, but nowhere in the movie does this image exist. In fact, the crucifixion depicted comes from the cover of an Elmore Leonard novel titled Valdez is Coming, which was adapted into a movie starring Burt Lancaster a year prior to Django Adios. And yes, the torture on the cover is in that movie. I did some more digging, and hear me out because when am I ever going to talk about this? There seems to be further cannibalization of Burt Lancaster media around the same time, with the Italian poster art for Valdez is Coming and another Lancaster western the same year. See the similarities? Oh, and by the way, much like the crucifixion, there's no Django in Django Adios. Number 73. Django's Spurs, the one that is littered with fake-ass cacti. Number 74. His cult, himself, his revenge. This one seems to have everything. A hooded villain, nudity, nose-picking, and a tequila-drinking monkey. Only problem is, it's no damn good. Number 75. Keoma. This is probably the second most famous Franco Nero western after Django. Nero, however, doesn't play Django. In fact, I can't find documentation anywhere of it ever being redubbed or retitled as a Django movie at all. No poster, no VHS cover, nada. Save for some references here and there on the net. But I figured I'd cover all my bases and mention it here anyway. Also, there is this fun graduational type German poster that translates to Franco Nero was Django. Franco Nero is Keoma. The movie itself is a looker, even if the story isn't all there. With Nero in a wig and being slow-mo tortured in mud in overly dramatized fashion, it's easy to see why Keoma has found a place with the snickering postmodern crowd. Number 76, The Shark Hunter. Not a Western, but stars Franco Nero again in a bad wig and being tortured in mud puddles. Number 77, Django Strikes Again. Franco Nero returns to the character that made him a star in the only official Django sequel to date. Disappointing that it's a little more than a shoestring First Blood Part 2 ripoff, considering those Rambo sequels, along with other testosterone-ignited 80s actioners, owe a great debt to the original 1966 Django. Number 78, Dollar for the Dead. This throwback was originally set to star Bruce Willis and was meant to go theatrical, but Bruce dropped out in favor of another genre shoot-'em-up. The production stalled until the producers secured Emilio Estevez and it became a TNT original. Known as a Django film in Germany, its influence lies more with John Woo, with the Western setting being nothing more than aesthetic. Number 79. Django, La Otra Cara. The Django name did not come to an end with the digital revolution. Here we have a Peruvian crime drama based on a real-life bank robber that operated during the 1970s and 80s that the local press nicknamed Django, hence the title. Number 80. Sukiyaki Western Django, another retelling of Yojimbo, this time directed by Japanese iconoclastic filmmaker Takeshi Miike. The coffin and machine gun, well, Gatling gun anyway, are here from the original. But surprisingly, the best part about this is the Kabuki Theater opening featuring the non-actor Quentin Tarantino. Number 81. Django Gunless. This Canadian Western comedy was originally released in 2010 as simply Gunless, but was later retitled in order to cash in on the success of Django Unchained. And speaking of which, Number 82. Django Unchained. Set in the final days of the antebellum South, Django is a former slave on a rescue mission to unshackle his wife from her Francophilian master. The subject matter is touchy, but everything is treated flippantly. And honestly, Fred Williamson did this shit better back in the 70s. Now, you probably already knew this, but be on the lookout for Franco Nero in a cameo.
I know.
Number 83. Originally released as The Dead and the Damned, this was rechristened a Django movie in, where else? Germany. The less said about this low-effort, micro-budget hackery, the better. Number 84. Django 2. Sangre de mi sangre. A sequel to the Peruvian caper film from 5 entries back. Number 85. Really? Really? I mean, come on, seriously? We get yet another sequel to this while the definitive Django 3 starring Franco Nero languishes in pre-production hell? Can somebody explain this to me?
In America, they announced a new Django with me. They want to do a movie called Django Lives.
Django Lives.
And that thing will be the last one.
The last one.
And the story is set in 1915, when the studios, they were hiring, heroes of the West, like Buffalo Bill, Wyatt Earp, to be consultant, for Westerns.
For the project.
So in this Django Lives, they hire Django. And then the story will become very complicated.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
It's going to be great. It's going to be
reiterate, this series, a set of films that will never leave Peru, gets a third installment. But this globally recognized franchise doesn't? I just don't understand it. I'm at a loss for words. Anyways, that's every fucking Django movie. Now, believe it or not, this 1970s spaghetti western was never considered a Django movie in any part of the world. Let that sink in. A film called Shango was never considered a Django movie. Don't even get me started on Lord Shango.